Hey, what's up you guys? Today we are going over something really exciting. Command lines. I'm talking networking. I'm talking cryptography. That's what I'm talking about. All basics, all beginner friendly. And what platform, you may ask? If you couldn't tell by the signature shirt that I always wear in these videos, it is TryHackMe. Now, as I have explained before, but I am explaining it again because we currently have 5 days left in the TryHackMe ticketing event, which is Try Win Me, which, if you've seen the last video, and if not, you should check it out, coincides with the release of their new Cybersecurity 101 path. Now, think of this as your very own cyber monopoly, as the title suggests. Every room you complete in TryHackMe's brand new learning path, you're going to earn tickets. If you're a free user, you get 1 ticket per room, and if you're subscribed, you get 2 tickets per room, doubling your chances of winning. Now, if you collect 3 identical tickets, you get to win some very amazing prizes. I'm talking amazing prizes. For example, special Cyber Crusader title on TryHackMe, $10 swag vouchers for some shirts, hats, merch. Gotta love TryHackMe merch. And even streak freezes to keep your streak going strong and your progress progressing. And there's even bigger prizes. 12-month premium vouchers, $50 Amazon vouchers, a brand new laptop, and even tickets to the infamous DEF CON 33 in Las Vegas. And for the grand prize, a lucky winner will receive a DEF CON 33 ticket, flights, and accommodations all covered by TryHackMe. This event makes learning cyber even more fun and more competitive than cybersecurity already is. So whether you're new to cyber or just want a recap of some fundamentals, it's the perfect time to dive into TryHackMe. So start completing rooms, collecting those tickets, and win some very amazing prizes. Now, on to what you can expect in the Cyber 101 learning path. Now here, we have Windows command line. So mysterious. Now, this section is kind of just introducing command line, what a command line is, advantages of using a command line, lower resource usage, automation, remote management, but to really simplify all of that in a short and sweet package, I will say command line is typing, GUI or graphical user interface is clicks. So really condensed, concise, simple explanation of that. As you can see, and as you can see, command line. So, if this is your first time running the attack box, which I'm going to assume it is, you press the start machine button below. Click start machine. Attack box loads up over here, or you can open it in another tab like so. And we are going to SSH into the Windows machine. So, you have this IP. This is going to be your target IP right here. Same thing. But instead of copying that, we're just going to copy this because I don't want to type all that in. And open up a terminal. And terminal is open. So we just paste that command here. Paste. Yes. Password is TryHackMe123 exclamation point. So we paste that in there. Enter. And we have SSH'd in. So if you were like, where's the password? It's not going to show up on the screen when you enter it for SSH for security reasons. So we have now SSH'd into the box. Now, so we have basic system information. We have vir command to determine the operating system version. So if we type in vir version 10.0.2034.8.2655. We have system info, shows the system info, kind of self-explanatory. Here we have the OS name, version, manufacturer, configuration, build type, system directory, time zone, available physical memory, things like that. Network cards, 1 NIC installed. His NIC levels are over 9,000. Okay. Troubleshooting, which is very muy importante. That stands for very important. IP config. Okay. The configuration, you have your IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, which we'll get into more explanations of that later. But if we do ipconfig/all, we have a very more in-depth stats, I guess you could say. Like the IP address, IPv6, DHCP enabled, yes. Physical address, DNS servers, default gateway lease expires Tuesday, October 29th at 9:29 p.m. Okay, to get into some network troubleshooting here. What's the IP address of this? We'll copy. We can do... So, if you get a reply, that means the host is up. For the network troubleshooting, we have ping, which we just did. You can ping websites too, see if they're up that way. Another one, traceroute. It, like it says in the name, traces the route to reach the target. So let's just copy this, paste. Tracing route to example.com over a maximum of 30 hops. And hops is the thing you see going on here. It goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And that just shows you how many hops to the different routers, how many router hops it's taking. And this is slow, but as you can see here, 16. The destination, 15 different routers to get to its destination. Now we have Windows PowerShell. Now, from the official Microsoft page, PowerShell is a cross-platform task automation solution made up of a command line shell, a scripting language, and a configuration management framework. PowerShell is a powerful tool from Microsoft designed for task automation and configuration management. It combines a command line interface and a scripting language built on the .NET framework. And PowerShell is object-oriented, which means it can handle complex data types and interact with system components more effectively. So, PowerShell automation. If you're ever configuring scripts in an RMM, you'll use some PowerShell. So, how to SSH into our lab environment a different way? Well, let me show you. Applications, internet, password, cancel. We're going SSH and the IP, which we got to start the machine. And the IP will be shown in 1 minute. And then we have the username, captain, password, Jolly Roger, IP, machine IP, whichever one it comes up with. So, paste, enter, username, captain, password. So, the basic syntax for a PowerShell command, also known as commandlets, verb and noun. So, for example, get content, retrieves, gets the content of a file, verb, noun. So, for example, copying this in here. Oh, one thing I forgot to do, start PowerShell. Now we're using PowerShell. As you can see, right here, PS PowerShell. So let's put that back in there, git command. And those are all the commands that you can run. As you can see, there are a lot of them. Okay, navigating the file system and working with files. You have the dir command directory, and that is the same as ls in Unix-like systems, but there's also git children. That's the official command for it, the official PowerShell command. For example, git child item, paste that in there, and you see all the directories. But if we also just do dir, you will also see the directories. So same command, just in different fonts, as they say. So changing directory, we can do cd. So let's do cd, yeah, ls or dir or git child item, literally all the same. Also, for network information, it is git net IP address. The IP address and that stuff that is IPv6 is the IP address 10.174.4. There's a loopback pseudo interface. Yeah, it just shows all the network information. And then we have scripting, which is very important in PowerShell, or literally anything. And scripting is a process of writing and executing commands written in a text file, known as a script. And to do this on remote systems, you use the invoke command. We are on Linux shells, which I personally find great, and it is my favorite type of command line and operating system. So we're going to start the machine. Oh, did I terminate the last one? Yeah, terminate. Make sure you guys terminate your machines. So a shell essentially is just the command line, as you can see pictured here on this very awesome laptop. It is just the command line, or the terminal, or the shell. Get a shell, whatever you want to call it, all interchangeable. So here is the box, the demo box. This is Linux. So we do pwd home user. Pwd stands for print working directory. In pwd, we have ls, lists the files and the directories in the current directory that you're in. Flaghunt.sh, which is a bash script, it seems, by the .sh, but we are getting ahead of ourselves here. Okay, so desktop. Hold on now. Oh, but I'm in the user directory, that's why. See, you guys get to see me figure this out. And then we have ls-a, which shows the hidden files and directories. But if we go cd ... which takes us back a level, we do ls, we have Ubuntu user. Let's cd into Ubuntu ls on that. And we have desktop documents, downloads, pictures, public templates, videos. So we can do like documents, ls, nothing in there. So we're going back up another level. We list it out again, and we're going to cd back to user. Oh my god, can I type? Okay, then we have our bash script. So let's get back to the walkthrough. Oh, and we also have cat, which reads out the contents of a file. So shell scripting, which in Linux it's called bash. You start it with a shebang, which is this right here. We're putting bash in the shebang because it is the interpreter of choice that we are using. If you know coding, we have variables, stores a value inside of it. We have loops, conditional statements, comments, which is just telling what you wrote. So we have a little practical exercise here dealing with a bash script. We have placed the script in the default user directory, home/user of the attached Ubuntu machine. I'm going to guess it's the one that I just opened. Or not opened, but I'm going to guess it's the one that I just viewed. And we got to be root. So let's clear for a second. We can have a clear template. We go sudo su. That's the password, I forgot. Password. And as the thing says right there, we are root. So ls flag hunt. So we go nano, and nano is just a text editor. And as you can see here, defining the directory to search our flag, defining the flag to search, defining for loop to iterate over all the files with .log extension in the defined directory. So directory equals /var/log. Flag equals this guy right here. Oop, and make sure your syntax is correct. For file in blank ./log, and that will be $directory. Boom. Exit. So we have a script here, and to execute it, it is going to be ./.sh. No such file. Oh, my syntax. You can see I left a space. Okay. Nanoing back in there. See, I like to show my mistakes, so you can see what happens when you do something wrong. Flag hunt, so /. There we go. Flag found in authentication.log in the var/log directory. So we do back. And we'll just do again, going up one, cd/var, and then in var, backups cache, crash, lib, local, log, which we're going to. So we do cd, ls, and we have authentication log. So cat authentication log. The cat is sleeping under the table, and there it is. Which file is the keyword authentication.log, where is the cat sleeping under the table. Now we have networking concepts. Networking. We all know it, we all love it. Number one most important model that you will learn in networking, as in which helps you kind of conceptualize the different layers, is the OSI model. Which the OSI model stands for Open Systems Interconnection Model. And it has 7 layers, as you can see here. Top layer, going down. Application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link, and physical. Physical layer, it is just physical things. Ethernet cables, or like any cabling. We have data link layer, which mainly deals with MAC addresses, just to keep it extremely simple. We have the network layer, which mainly deals with routers. Also, data link layer, MAC addresses, switches, yeah. Layer, TCP, UDP protocols. Session layer, NFS and RPC. Session layer, responsible for establishing, maintaining, and synchronizing communication between applications. Presentation layer ensures that data is delivered in the form of an application layer can understand. Data encoding, compression, and encryption. Application layer is what we see, the end user application, the web browser, HTTP, FTP, DNS, and Nmap. So here's just a little chart because all of that can be a lot and it's a lot to memorize. And we have IP addresses and subnets. Subnetting involves math. It's a pain that we all have to go through and learn. I didn't like it either, but you'll have to learn it at least some point in your cybersecurity career. Now, this is an IPv4. An IPv4 address has 4 octets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which will always contain a decimal number between 0 and 255. And then we have public and private IP addresses. There's 3 ranges of private IP addresses right here. And then we have encapsulation. Encapsulation refers to the process of every layer adding a header and sometimes a trailer to the received unit of data and sending the encapsulated unit to the layer below. A packet, if you will. And then here, the life of a packet kind of goes through an example of what goes on here. And then we have Wireshark, which is basically just packet analysis in GUI format. So this is what Wireshark looks like. You can load in pre-made PCAP files, which are packet capture files, or you can press a little shark fin and you can start capturing packets on your own network, which is very fun to analyze. Here you can see the packet details, packet bytes, what protocol it is, TCP, HTTP, DNS, the source, the destination, and the time, and the info. You have SYN, ACK, so you get to see the TCP three-way handshake going on right there. And if you didn't get this before, right here, each little arrow is a layer of the OSI model. So the frame, layer 1, physical layer, source, MAC, data link layer, IP, network layer, and so on and so forth. And that's what you get if you click the little arrow and then it expands. And we have tcpdump, which is basically the command line version of Wireshark. Example, sudo tcpdump, you're basically just capturing packets over the network. And here you can do different command line options, like captures packets on a specific network interface, right? Capture packets to a file, doesn't resolve IPs, verbose display, kind of things like that. And then these get saved into a .pcap file, which Wireshark takes .pcap files. So you can also analyze the packets you captured with tcpdump in Wireshark. And we have Nmap, which I think is the most important one if you're red teaming, which is what I like to do. So Nmap stands for Network Mapper. Basically, you put in an IP or list of IPs, and it spits you out things like what devices are on the network, version, OS. You could do it for, for example, web servers, see what, for example, like of Apache they're running and then like find a vulnerability for it and then exploit it. But that is for later. Okay, for Nmap, we have this target IP. Go back to the attack box, open up a terminal. So we do Nmap, and then just paste that IP up in here, enter. And you see the port, the state, and the service. So all these are open. SSH is open, HTTP is open, Echo is open, Discard is open, Daytime's open. Most important one you would be looking for is SSH and HTTP. So, and usually Nmap scans TCP ports automatically. You can make it scan UDP ports with the -SU, but it usually just scans TCP ports automatically. And then we have some options: ST, TCP connect scan, SS, TCP SYN, UDP, fast mode, 100 most common ports, and then the port range. So, version detection. This is what I normally like to do. I go Nmap -SV, which stands for version, enter. So we have the SSH version, open SSH 9.6 P1 Ubuntu. We have HTTP, which is this version right here, which you can go on, copy that into Google, say exploit for that version of HTTP, and you could find an exploit for that. Now we are moving on to our final section of the day, which is cryptography. And cryptography is basically just ensuring secure communication. You have different ciphers. I'm getting ahead of myself. Plain text to cipher, like that. Plain text, which is just human readable text. Encrypt it, you encrypt it with a key. And then you turn it into ciphertext, which is encrypted text. Decrypt, the ciphertext, encrypted, decrypt. You got to decrypt it with a key. Then it turns back into human readable plain text for the recipient. And types of encryption, symmetric and asymmetric. You may have heard of Bob and Alice right here. That's what everyone always uses, Alice and Bob. Symmetric encryption, one shared secret key, as you can see pictured. Asymmetric encryption, you have Bob's public key to encrypt. You have Bob's private key to decrypt because Bob's receiving. So it's two keys, public key and a private key, for one person. And types of symmetric encryption, what is normally used now is AES. These are the other ones if you want to take a look. Types of asymmetric encryption, RSA, we looked at curved cryptography, ECC, things of that nature. And then we have public key cryptography basics, how that kind of compares with the cyber realm, authentication, integrity, and confidentiality. And here we have PGP and GPG. PGP stands for Pretty Good Privacy. It is software that implements encryption for encrypting files, performing digital signing, and more. GPG is an open source implementation of the Open PGP standard. GPG is commonly used in email to protect the confidentiality of the email messages and used for digital signatures and such of that nature. So, for this practical example, let's say you got a new computer. All you need to do is import your key and you can start decrypting your received messages again. You would use gpg-import backup key to import your key from the backup key. To decrypt your messages, you would need to issue this command. Use GPG to decrypt the message in task 7. What secret word does the message hold? We have the message.gpg and the TryHackMe key. So for example, if we tried to cat that, it's encrypted, right? And we have to decrypt it. So we issue this command to import the TryHackMe key. Then we go back, literally copy, paste, and then just edit it to match. You decrypted the file. The secret word is pineapple. Now we have hashing basics. What is a hash, you may ask? Well, very different from encryption. There's no key and it's meant to be computationally impractical to go from to the input. So hashes are irreversible, encryption is reversible. Simple explanation. And hashing protects data's integrity and ensures password confidentiality or software confidentiality. For example, if you have a software, get the hash, compare it, it lets you know that it is the correct hash and it is safe for verification. So, password cracking, what we all want to get into. We are going to be doing this with Hashcat, but there is also John the Ripper, which we will be doing in a second. And Hashcat uses the GPU to crack, and John uses the CPU to crack. So, password cracking. I'll provide the hashes, crack them, you can choose how. We'll treat the hash as bcrypt and try the passwords in the rocku.txt. Okay, so there are different types of hashes. You can have an MD5 hash. You can have a SHA-1, a SHA-256. The logistics are not very important at the moment, but just know there are different types of hashes. Okay, Hashcat to crack this hash, saved in hashing basics task 6. So, and hash1.txt. So, you first have to see what kind of hash it is. So, we have it right here. We copy. We go to a hash analyzer. We paste it in. We analyze. Hash type bcrypt. So, we now know it's bcrypt. What option do we use for bcrypt? -3200. So, we copy this command, copy, paste, and just edit that to be hash1. And it is cracking using the rocku.txt, which is kind of like a default word list for password cracking. And there it is. We have cracked the hash. Now, last tool of the evening, John the Ripper, another hash cracker. Or as more commonly people call it, a password cracker, because most passwords are hashed. So, start machine, as always. And what I am going to go over today is cracking Etsy shadow hashes, because I find that the most fun, and I like Linux, and I like a privilege escalation. So we are going to be going over that for the demo. And the etc/shadow file is a file on the Linux machine where password hashes are stored. Stores user passwords, root passwords, which root passwords we are most interested in as an attacker from a red team standpoint. So for the practical, see if you can follow the process to crack the password hash of the root user, yay, provided in the etc hashes.txt file. Good luck. So we have the etc hashes.txt. And if we just catted that, you see this is everything I managed to recover from the target machine before my computer crashed. See if you can crack the hash so we can at least salvage a password to try and get back in. And this right here is the hash. So to crack it, we issue this command: John, word lists, rocky.txt format, SHA-512 crypt, which is what the hash is, and then the file etc hashes.txt. And here it is, root. And the password is 1234 root. And that is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the walkthrough, and I will see you in the next one.